Hi, and welcome to Language Notes with Mr. Rohrbach. During today's lesson, we are going to talk about our Stage 4 model sentences, and specifically, we're going to make our first set of verb charts. Okay, and so we're going to get started with our verb charts. Now, here's what I notice in these Stage 4 model sentences. If I start reading, I see, ego sum quoquus, ego canem quoquo, ego sum tonsor, ego bardvam tondeo. Okay. I see sentence 7, quid tu coquis? Ego canam coquo. All right, Lucia asks in sentence 8, quid tu habes? Caeculius replies, ego pecuniam habeo. Okay, and so what I want you to notice is that some sentences have the subject ego, other sentences have the subject tu. And here's the other thing I want you to notice. All right, if you compare a sentence with the subject ego and a subject tu, you'll notice that the verbs actually change between those sentences. All right, we see in sentence 7, coquis and coquo. Those are not two different verbs. They're the same verb with two different endings. So what shall we make of this? What does that even mean? Let's talk about that. Okay. So for your stage 4 language notes, I really do want you to make a new page of notes and label them verb charts. Okay, your verb charts. All right, let's talk about our verb charts right now. Okay. So what we're starting to talk about is basically person. The person of a verb refers to who is performing the verb. And what we're learning today is that depending on its person, a verb will change its ending. So if a verb has a subject I, it's going to have a different ending compared to the same verb with the subject you. All right. Now, this is kind of a technical term, but if a verb is first person singular, then its subject is ego or I. If a verb is second person singular, its subject is tu or you. And then if a verb is third person singular, it's anything else. Anything else is third person singular. So, if a verb has a first person singular subject, at this point, for present tense verbs, the verb is going to end in the letter O. All right, looking back to those model sentences, ego canam coquo, right? Ego barba tondeo. If it has a subject ego, the verb needs to end in O. Okay, how about second person singular? If the verb has a subject you, all right, then the verb is going to end in the letter S. Quid tu coquis? What are you cooking? Okay, so if it's second person singular, it's going to end in the letter S. And then here's what's fun. Anything else, this is all the other verbs you've seen in Latin. If it has a third person subject, it's going to end in T. And so up to this point, you could have safely assumed that every verb always ends in T. That's only for third person singular verbs. Okay? If it's first or second person, all right, it ends in O or S accordingly. This is for present tense. We'll learn about other tenses of verbs in the future. This is for present tense singular. You'll see that the plural verbs, all right, we're putting X's in those right now. That's kind of in anticipation of when we learn more about pluralizing verbs. Okay, but what I need you to include in your language notes is this reference chart that I give you that tells you first person singular is I, second person singular is you, third person is anything else. And then the specific chart on the right side with those endings that we use for our present tense verbs. There's one more thing you might notice. In sentence 1, Grumio is saying, I am a cook. Ego sum coquus. Okay. Sum doesn't end. Sum means am. Sum doesn't end in O. It's supposed to be first person singular, but it doesn't end in O. That's because sum is what's called an irregular verb. Okay. And so we have, sum kind of has its own chart. If you want to say I am, you would say ego sum. If you want to say you are, you would say tu es, es. If we want to say he, she, it, anyone else is, we'd use est, which we've already learned. Okay, and I like to call that our equal sign chart, right? Because they all kind of mean equal. I am a cook. I equal kokus. Okay, so I want you to also copy down this irregular forms for sum in your stage 4 language notes. Once you have got these charts copied down, that's what you need for your verb charts in your stage 4 language notes. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and please don't forget to include our plural columns in your language notes in anticipation of when we learn the plural forms of nouns and verbs. All right. Have a great day. Wishing you the best in your learning.